once again, final round for the the 97.3 CKON FM Bandit Series. We're off and running. Green flag flies. Daryl Mitchell into that early lead. Nolan Swamp, who has won the last 2 weeks here with us, charges up to position number 2. Trevor Gaucher on the bottom of the speedway, flying up to the inside of Ernie Creed to try to take that 4th spot. But up in front, Daryl Mitchell is the man of the hour as he leads lap 1.
Well, Daryl Mitchell off to a great start, and last week's feature race winner is the one of Nolan Swamp. And Tim, for Nolan Swamp this season, it's been wreckers or checkers for him. He's finished strong, or he's had to exit the feature early on, but now going into turn 3, it is the 18 of Ernie Cree going to the inside of the 64, Den Denouet. Coming out of turn 4, it is Daryl Mitchell, your leader, followed by Ernie Cree and Dan Denouet.
Well, you mentioned Nolan Swamp, and he actually broke while winning last week as he came to a stop on the front stretch, and he goes for a slide off of turn 2, but he gathers it back up in front of Randy Whiting. But up in front, Daryl Mitchell motors on and leads lap number 2. Ernie Cree and Dan Denouet still holding on to the top 3 spots.
And Trevor Gauthier in the top 5 now as he's worked his way up to the 4th position. Nolan Swamp rounds out your top 5 as Daryl Mitchell continues to lead now going into turn 3, followed by Ernie Cree and Dan Denouet. As Daryl Mitchell seems to have a pretty good grip on this first heat race of the night, Tim, for the Bandits.
Yes, he does. And, of course, Daryl, former karting champion over at the Cornwall Speedway, jumped into this Bandit car last year in his rookie season, picked up a feature win late last year, and right now he leads them into turn number 3. Ernie Cree back there in that runner-up spot. Of course, Ernie right in the thick of things for the track title. He rides in second, then it's Denouet, Trevor Gaucher, and Nolan Swamp completing the top 5. Whiting completes the field.
So, 2 more turns of the steering wheel for the 37 of Daryl Mitchell now as we have our first heat race action of the evening, and Daryl Mitchell now going to put it into turns 3 and 4. He's going to stick it to the middle of the track. Coming out of 4, it'll be Daryl Mitchell, your first Bandit heat race winner this evening, followed by Ernie Cree, the 64 of Dan Denouet, and Trevor Gauthier. And now the battle continues as Nolan Swamp coming out of 4 drifts to the high side. Whiting looking on the inside.
79 will lead him to the green. Owen White, Blaze Benedict. John Green, the winner of the opening series race here in the Bandit class, along with the number 3 of Gaucher, we're back underway. And Corey Castell goes into turns 1 and 2 with the lead. Derek Colbert goes into 1 and 2 in a cloud of smoke. And definitely not the way to start your night, as he is starting to lay a whole lot of liquid around the outside part of the racetrack there, I do believe. And the caution flag is out, but, well, it looks like he's still moving.
If you so choose.
Bears Den, what a great place to have dinner at, I'll tell you what. Quite the fill you get at the Bears Den. Green flag is back out. Corey Castell goes to the lead. Derek Colbert, and you can see the smoke starting to come out of the back of that car once again. Obviously something internal in that 79 is going wrong, and Blaze Benedict and John Green having all sorts of trouble trying to get by. But up in front, Corey Castell is having his hands full with the 3 of Gaucher, along with the ON of Owen White, your points leader in the Bandit division.
So now Gaucher going to go to the inside at the flag stand and take the lead. Now as he takes it into turns 1 and 2, Castell goes to the high side. Gaucher gets a little loose. Castell will go around him, as well as Owen White now as they head into turns 3 and 4.
And White around the top side. He'll take away the 2nd spot. Gaucher down on the bottom into 3rd. Followed by the 22 of John Green. 79 of Colbert rounds out your top 5. Blaze Benedict rounds out the field in 6th. Up in front, Corey Castell working that outside groove. Probably not a good choice as Mike Gaucher digs down to the bottom and blows by the 28 to take over the lead. But Gaucher stuck to the bottom of the speedway, allowing Castell to drive up around him on the top side, but Gaucher hauls freight down the front straightaway at lap 3.
So Owen White saw what Mike Gaucher had working for him in the bottom and says he'll try that now as Castell will go to the high side. Owen White coming out of 2 now is in 2nd place. Gaucher continues to lead, but now coming up alongside Castell is the 22 of John Green, going to drift a little high, force Castell up to the track as they come out of turns 4.
And he pushed him way up to the top side of the speedway, and that's going to allow for Derek Colbert to get on by for the number 4 spot as Mike Gaucher continues to lead him down the back straightaway. Owen White, 3-time winner this year, hauls down the back straightaway in spot number 2. Then it's John Green, winner of the opening series race here back in June. Rounds out your top 3. Gaucher at the white flag is your leader.
1 lap remaining now for Mike Gauthier. He continues to lead. He took the race lead 2 laps ago, but now in second. Owen White going to try something on the high side, maybe gain a little speed coming out of 2. But Gauthier going to head into turns 3 and 4, and he seems to have a comfortable lead now, Tim, as he's going to come out of turn 4 and get the checkers.
A convincing win for Mike Gauthier in that number 3 as he'll take a half straightaway advantage over Owen White in second. John Green, Derek Colbert get back to victory lane. It's been a long time for him.
Well, John's a true racer as the first heat gets underway now as Ryan Helm along with Delbert LeGros in the front row. John Lazor drops to the bottom. Now going into turn 1, looking to take the early race lead. Delbert LeGros on the outside. Coming out of 2, John Lazor stuck to the bottom. Now it's a drag race going into turns 3 and 4.
And Lazor digging down on the bottom. LeGros not going to give it to him. He's going to have to earn it off of turn 4. LeGros gets a little loose, and Lazor leads lap number 1 at the stripe, and it's going to be LeGros in the number 2 spot. Gage Morin down on the bottom as well. He rides third. Then it's Helm, Jeff Sykes, your top 5. Kevin Gamble and Preston Forbes complete your field, but Lazor has the lead as they come off of turn 4 and head for the home straightaway.
The man on the move right now is the 4J of Jeff Sykes. Started scratch on the field in this heat race, now worked his way up to the 4th position. John Lazor now, he's got the power to the bottom of the clay as he'll go into turns 3 and 4. He is your race leader, but now the drag race is between Gage Morin and then 2 of Delbert LeGros.
And LeGros' car looks very loose coming off of turn number 4, and that's going to allow for Morin to get on by. Jeff Sykes going to try the bottom of the speedway as well, and you can see LeGros how loose his car is coming into turn number 2 there. Sykes pulling right to the back bumper. He's going to shoot to the top side this time. No such luck. Ryan Helm completes the top 5 right now as Lazor continues to lead it.
Coming out of 4, Gage Morin with a push in the car as he drifts to the high side. Now as he goes into turns 1 and 2. Jeff Sykes makes the pass. He started scratch on the field, worked his way up now to the number 3 position. He will set his sights on the 1-6 of Gage Morin.
And Lazor continues to lead him down the front straightaway. And, of course, a lot of these cars have the rev limiter in them, and usually on a dry track like this you can possibly hear the rev limiter. Not so much tonight as you can see when the drivers come down the front straightaway. Cars barely getting up to speed. That is all due to a good gear selection, and Lazor seems to have picked the perfect one right now as he continues to lead the way.
Well, the pressure is on John Lazor tonight, campaigning in his backup car, or one of his cars rather, will be the 19L of Tim Fuller. Glad he's with us, but now John Lazor, Tim, really working this field to his better positioning, if you will. He continues to be the race leader.
Well, he's definitely got the field licked by a whole straightaway here. Is a good battle on the racetrack for the runner-up spot with Jeff Sykes and Gage Morin. Morin, one of the only drivers working that outside groove. Jeff Sykes liking that bottom side as they continue to race side by side off of turn number 4. Into 1 and 2 they go. It's Sykes on the bottom, Morin on the top side, and Morin will hold the position off of 2.
As we said earlier, Sykes started dead last in this heat race. Now he drags race with Gage Morin going into turns 3 and 4. The race is on for the number 2 position. White flag on the field. Gage Morin, Jeff Sykes for the number 2 position.
I'll tell you what, Gage Morin is not afraid to go to the outside part of the speedway. He came very close to that wall, but it looks like he ran out of real estate off of 2. That's all that Sykes needed. Checkered flag is out, and John Lazor is going to try the high side here off of 4 and grab the win in heat number 1 for the modifieds. Jeff Sykes, Gage Morin, your top 3. Then Kevin Gamble's going to go to the top side as well. He'll try to pick off 4th at the stripe from LeGros, and LeGros will get him. And welcoming back the pocket rocket, the 17D of Danny O'Brien. Current points leader at Brockville. And remember the last time Danny was here with us, he put on a clinic leading all 50 laps that night en route to the feature win, but it's been over a year since he's been here with us in Mohawk, and he's looking to charge from the back of the field.
Well, a new power plant in the 44 machine this week as Casey Swamp now is drifted back a little bit of ill handling now, but the leader is the 4 of Leon Gagnon. He certainly knows his way around this power plant as he campaigned here for many, many years, now runs weekly at the Airborne Division, but right behind him, some pretty good company, Tim.
Absolutely. He's got Kerry Terrance, the defending track champion, right behind him. Defending sportsman track champion and current points leader in the modifieds, Chris Raby right there with him as well, as Timmy O'Brien works from that 3rd spot. Rick Miller all out of shape in the 20, but he collects it back up behind Gardner Stowe, but it's defending track champ Kerry Terrance leading lap number 3.
Kerry Terrance, strong week in, week out here at the Mohawk International Raceway. But now on the inside, the 0-1 of Chris Raby looks for a little bite, cannot find it, coming on at 2. Tim O'Brien into second now as we head into turns 3 and 4.
And Timmy O'Brien locked into the number 2 spot. Chris Raby is third. Danny O'Brien is charged from the number 8 starting spot. He's charged into 4th now. And Leon Gagno completes your top 5. But he has got Casey Swamp and Gardner Stone all over the back bumper of him. Meanwhile, back up front to your leaders, Kerry Torrance is showing the way here at lap number 5.
Timmy O'Brien will bobble a little bit coming into 4, drifts to the high side, but he regroups it and maintains the number 2 position. Coming out of 2 now, Chris Raby in 3rd, followed by the 17 of the Pocket Rocket, Danny O'Brien. The 66X, Kerry Torrance, continues to lead. 4 more laps to go in heat race number 2. Kerry Torrance now will set it up into turns 3 and 4. Tim O'Brien in second, holding on, but he's got the 0-1 of Chris Raby bearing down. Chris Raby will bobble a little bit between turns 3 and 4. Danny O'Brien looking for a little bite on the high side now as he goes into turns 1. Kerry Torrance with a commanding lead on the field here early on, late stages of this heat race number 2.
Much like John Lazore did early on in the first qualifying heat, Kerry Torrance has got things going his way. 2 more laps to go, and Torrance has the top spot. Timmy O'Brien battling on the bottom, Chris Raby as well. Danny O'Brien seems to like the outside part of the speedway. He actually closed in on Raby for the number 3 spot as they worked down the back straightaway into turn number 3, but it's all Kerry Torrance this time off of turn 4, wide in the air.
1 lap to go for Kerry Torrance, looking for a feature win here this evening. Kerry Torrance now going to put it into turns 3 and 4 with a comfortable lead margin over the 88 of Tim O'Brien, followed by the 0-1 of Chris Raby, the 17 of Danny O'Brien. It'll be Kerry Torrance, your second heat race winner this evening, followed by Tim O'Brien, Chris Raby, Danny O'Brien, and the X1 of Gardner Stone.
A couple of former track champions have swept the qualifying heat
this
race.
Evening, 74 points is the difference between Chris Raby and the 55 of Perry Francis. So if you need points, you got to get them now. It'll be Todd Stone walking away with the early lead, but now the yellow flag on the field as our starter did not care for that start. So yellow will come on to the field. Or actually, no, we are under green conditions. The yellow flag was on for an apparent reason. Todd Stone, your early race leader, but on the outside, Melvin Rush now for the number 2 position. Perry Francis will set his machine to the bottom, followed by, as now Melvin Rush is going to loop it into turns 1 and 2. And Tim will have to wait and see if he's going to be able to get away under his own power.
Don't think he will be able to, as he's stalled out over there in turn number 2. Yellow flag flies. But hopefully things will turn around tonight for Slim as he comes off turn number 4. Green flag is out. Todd Stone back into that number 1 spot. Matt Billings also loves these dry slick racetracks. He now goes up to that 2nd spot. It's McDonald into 3rd, Perry Francis and Tommy Jock. A little bit of smoke coming out of the back of the 31, but he continues to hold down 5th.
The race to watch will be for the 2nd position. It is Billings, followed by McDonald and Perry Francis. Perry Francis back on track after getting a victory last weekend. He was so excited, Tim. Talking to him earlier this evening, he said that was just what the boost his team needed. They've been working hard, and it finally paid off for him. But Todd Stone continues to lead.
And, of course, Perry celebrating an anniversary this weekend, so congratulations to Perry. And meanwhile, up in front, Todd Stone still continues to lead the way. He's got about 3 car lengths on Matt Billings, who rides in the number 2 spot. And Brian McDonald, former track champion here as well, back in 2002, rides in the number 3 spot as they come around to complete lap 5.
We're at the halfway point now. Todd Stone continues to lead. Billings going to look to run him down coming out of 2, but Todd Stone seems to be comfortable leading up front here at the halfway point now. Coming into 3 and 4 is Matt Billings in 2nd, Brian McDonald in 3rd, Perry Francis in 4th, and Tommy Jock rounding out your top 5.
And Tommy Jock with that number 31 machine. That car is smoking something fierce down here in the front stretch. You can see him going into turn number 1. Hasn't slowed his pace down, though, as he still rides in 5th. Up in front, though, Matt Billings starting to reel in your leader, Todd Stone, as they come off at turn number 4. Billings has closed it down now to about 3 car lengths into turn 1.
Matt Billings continues to chip away at the lead of Todd Stone. Does he have enough laps left on this heat race to catch the 1X of Todd Stone. Time will only tell, Tim, as now Todd Stone's going to come around and collect the 2 to go sign.
And Todd Stone, a veteran of the Speedway, won his first ever dirt modified feature here at Mohawk back in 1994 and would like to get back to victory lane here in 2011 if he possibly could. He's into turns 3 and 4 now with about a 4-car length advantage on Billings. Billings drove it in a little bit deeper that time off turn number 4, White in the air.
1 lap remaining. Todd Stone now continues to lead. Matt Billings going to try to run him down coming out of 2. Does he have enough time? This guy doesn't think so. Todd Stone sets the car coming into turns 3 and 4. He'll stick her to the bottom. He'll come around and collect the checkered flag. Todd Stone, heat race winner number 3 on the evening, followed by Matt Billings, Brian McDonald, Perry Francis, and the 31 of Tommy Jock Jr.
So that will do it for the modified heat events. We'll now move into Rebstar, and put on quite a show, and some guy named Poirier won that one too, I do believe.
Pretty good racing lineage there with the Poiriers, but this will be my second look, Tim, at these speedsters in the Rebstar division, or racing series, if you will, as Poirier gets off to a pretty good lead, and it looks like pretty close, tight racing competition here.
Absolutely. Poirier does get the number 1 spot away from Hebers to come down the front straightaway. You'll recognize a lot of the names in this one. Of course, a few surprises coming up in heat number 2 as well, but right now it's all Yannick Poirier leading the way. Heber is second, followed by, we got a car around over in turn number 1 and 2, and it is the Jean-Charles Cassavant, number 14, JC, spun around. He's going to keep it going, though. Lap number 2, it's Poirier, your leader.
So Poirier continues to lead, and great job by the race car getting back underway. There was the 14C of Jean-Charles Cassavant. We appreciate that very much so. These cars do have a starter on them, unlike a regular sprint car. And Tim, once again, pretty good racing going on here by the speedsters early on.
Maxim Plant, Wixom Bitney up to the number 3 and 4 spots right now. And I believe Daniel Nadeau rounds out your top 5 at this time as they all head through turns 3 and 4. Stefan Lafrance started to make his move forward in the number 2 machine. That is the car normally campaigned by Richie Tobias Jr., the former Syracuse Big Block Modified champion. He will be back out with us in heat number 2.
Well, that'll be a treat for these fans. Great stars we've got here tonight. Tim Fuller and Richie Tobias. That it's in of itself is worth the price of admission as Poirier continues to lead, Tim, and he does not want to relinquish that lead here in this first heat race.
Jerry Heber's been trying to run him down all race long. No such doing, though, as back there in that 3rd spot, an impressive run. 14 years old for Maxim Plan out there, running in the number 3 spot. And at 14, I know I was racing go-karts at that age, but I tell you what, down here in one of these race cars, it's quite the challenge out there, but he's making it look easy as we got a pass going on out there for the number 5 spot as Nadeau in the 54 along with the number 4 of Paul Lotier Jr. working that outside groove. Lotier trying to get by. White flag in the air, though, and Poirier still leads the way.
So Poirier will head into turns 3 and 4 now, and as he'll look to come around to collect the checkers, he'll say au revoir, mon petit chou, as he collects the first heat race of the evening for the Rebstar Speedsters.
In this heat event, as he'll start from 10th, as we had mentioned. And yes, he would do that at Fulton, too, at Victoria Weekend. Green flag is out here, Brian, and Matthew Degg is going to jump to the number 1 spot as they head through turns 1 and 2.
Which one is Tobias? White and red car. So Tobias automatically hopping up to the top side, Tim, as we had mentioned. He's got quite a field of cars in front of him here, so now he's going to try to dip it back to the bottom, looking to find some bite. But the early race leader is the Yannick Mathieu is your early race leader, Tim, as you'll put it into turns 3 and 4. Look at the racing going back in the field.
And Yannick Mathieu, former Big Block driver in the Quebec circuit, Granby and Drummondville, as he leads the way down the back straightaway. But then we got a scramble in the back of the field, about 5th, 6th, and 7th out there. As Tobias, you see him working that outside groove in the number 8 machine, starting to pick off some cars as they come down the front straightaway. But up in front, Yannick Mathieu, number 59, continues to lead the field.
Well, Tim, we're talking about Richie Tobias running the high side. You got to wonder if what he's doing right here is he looking potentially, what does he need to run the high side? He's trying that high side lap after lap, so possibly, most definitely, some adjustments to come his way. But Yannick Mathieu continues to lead and got a comfortable lead over the rest of the field, Tim.
And Mathieu making things look very easy out there as he comes down the front straightaway. He's got a full straightaway lead now, back to the second place position of Matthew Daig as they work through turns 1 and 2 this time. Josiane Plante having a pretty good run up there in position, or excuse me, that's not Josiane Plante. I stand corrected. That is the number 10 of Gabrielle Richer. Richer rounding out your top 3. 2 more laps to go, and Mathieu still continues to lead the field.
So, Mathieu, your race leader, he's going to have some lap traffic now with a 2 to go sign from Austin Swamp. And you see Richie Tobias now has worked his way up through the field through a gaggle of cars as he's still trying to find some bite, Tim, on that high side. You got to wonder, what's he going to do at intermission?
Well, you never know. We'll have to wait and see. Checkered flag will be out this time by. And Yannick Mathieu going away will grab heat number 2 for Revstar. Second spot will go to the number 11 machine of Daig. Third to the number 10 of Richer. And a great job of driving out there by
number 2 of Jenna David behind her. Or behind, and then the second row is the 11 of Dylan Salos, followed by Mike Arquette, Dylan Evoy, and the 30 of Brent Kelsey. Thunder Anderson's going to take away the early race lead now as Thunder Anderson looking to get a heat race victory under his belt here this evening. He's got the 11 of Dylan Salos right on his tail, followed by Jenna David and the 30 of Brent Kelsey.
Dylan Evoy battling from that 5th spot. Of course, Dylan's picked up the last 2 in a row here. Like to go for 3 if he possibly could. Jenna David all out of shape in turn number 2, right down in front of Mike Arquette. But they both straighten it back out, and we stay green. Thunder Anderson stays in the number 1 spot, but he's got Dylan Salos right there behind him. As they work into turns 1 and 2, Brent Kelsey back there in the 3rd spot. You're defending Dirt Car Rookie of the Year and defending Mohawk Rookie of the Year in the sportsman class. Rounds out your top 3. Evoy is cracked into the top 5 now. He is 4th, and Jenna David completes the top 5.
So Evoy in the 4th position here, going to look to make up a few laps come for the feature race. As Jenna David, Tim, tonight has had some mechanical problems with her car. It looks like the front end or the brakes are potentially locking up for her. And we're not accustomed to seeing her struggle with struggle with car problems as she comes to a slow on the backstretch.
Well, obvious handling issues over there. She's going to bring it to a stop over there, just on the outskirts of the back straightaway. Caution flag is out, and Jenna, I believe, will be taking it pit.
Fine hockey player. He's a good kid, all-around kid, and he's a tremendous hockey player, and he's got a bright future in hockey or potentially racing if he cares to follow in his father's footsteps.
Green flag is back out. We're back underway as Thunder Anderson continues to lead it. He pushes up the track a little bit, trying to get to the inside as Salos, but we've got caution back on the speedway, and we're going to try this restart deal all over again.
The winner's club card, as now the green will come back out on the field, Tim.
And Jenna David has made her way back out, so they must have made some changes to that machine during the caution flag, and we'll see if it helps her out for the rest of this heat as Thunder Anderson continues to lead the way. But here comes Dylan Evoy. Boy, he found something off of turn number 2, and he shot like a rocket down the back straightaway. Went by Brent Kelsey. Now he gets to the inside of Dylan Salos, and he'll grab the 2nd spot as they come down to complete lap number 5.
Well, I was joking earlier with Dylan Evoy after last week's performance. I said I was going to give you the nickname the Vegematic, the way you sliced and diced your way up through the field. He put on a clinic, and now he's worked his way up to the number 2 position. And that caution flag, that yellow, certainly helped his cause here this evening.
Absolutely. Thunder Anderson leads the way, though, with 2 more laps to go. We've seen plenty of drivers this season collect their first ever qualifying heat wins. Thunder Anderson wants to add his name to that list, but Dylan Evoy's not going to give it to him. He's going to get down to the inside part of the speedway as Anderson is on the top side. Evoy down low, and Anderson will hold him off as it comes to the white flag.
And great move by Thunder Anderson, but now he's going to go to the high side. Here's Evoy on the bottom, coming out of 2. He found some bite. He'll break away from turn number 2 with the race lead now with 1 lap to go. 2 turns of the wheel for Dylan Evoy.
As he comes down the front straightaway, he'll grab his 6th heat win of the season, followed by Thunder Anderson. And a great run for Thunder, finishing in 2nd. Then it is the 30 of Brent Kelsey, the 11 of Sallows, and the 2 of Arquette complete the rest of the field. The 33 of Corey Winters lead him to the green. Mike White, the 1X, the 03 of Josh Jock, the 11X of Brian Kopp, 74 Neil Provost, and the 21 of Robert Delormier. That is your field. Green flag is in the air. Corey Winters is in front of the field down the back straightaway. Josh Jock already working that outside groove. We got caution back on the speedway here. Not there in Autodrome Granby tonight. Drummond on Saturday, and then they'll head to the RPM Speedway on Sunday night. Green flag is out. We're underway. Louis Jackson Jr. back to the number 1 spot. Corey Winters holds on to the 2nd spot now with Josh Jock into 3rd. Robert Delormier on the top side. Robert making his first appearance in a sportsman car with us. Does not look out of place at all. Robert going to the top side of the speedway, trying to get around Mike White, but he goes a little bit too high. It's going to cost him quite a few spots out there as he'll go from 4th all the way to the tail of the field.
So Louis Jackson Jr. under control here, coming out of 2. He'll put her into turns 3 and 4, followed by Corey Winters, the 03 of the ever-approving Josh Jock. So Louis Jackson Jr., Tim, with a comfortable lead early on. What progress this kid has made this season.
Absolutely, and of course he's just getting better and better in each and every week. And of course Louis, a former karting champion as well. And what experience karting can do for you, and he's showing you why that experience pays off as he leads the field coming off of turn number 4, tiptoeing right around the bottom of the speedway, right through the black stuff coming off of turn 4, and that's not normally where you run, but he's making it work for him, and he'll lead lap 3.
Great job by him here, and if he has any success tonight, potentially he'll say, Dad, just stay away from the racetrack. I've got this figured out now as he comes out of turns 4 with a halfway to go for the 18 of Louis Jackson Jr.
And 4 laps are complete. Corey Winters holding on to that 2nd spot. Neil Provost, who started in the back of this field, is charged up to 3rd. And Provost has won 2 heat races already this season, is looking very strong in that 74 machine as he comes off of turn number 4 in 3rd. Josh Jock and Brian Kopp, another asphalt standout driver, rounds out your top 5.
So Jackson now with a comfortable lead. He's going to have 1 lap to go as he comes around to the flagger stand. He puts it in turns 3 and 4, slows it down a little bit. Now he's going to mash the gas as he comes around to collect the 2 to go sign.
And can Louis Jackson Jr. hang in there and get his first ever heat win? We'll have to wait and see. He's got quite a comfortable lead out there, though, as Corey Winters holds on to the 2nd spot. Neil Provost trying to close in and run him down in the number 3 position. A good battle for 4th as Josh Jock has that 4th spot. Then as Brian Kopp into 5th. White flag in the air for Jackson.
So Louis, more action. Jackson is your race leader here in this heat race number 2. He comes out of 2. He's got a whole backstretch lead, a whole straightaway lead, if you will, over the field. Great job by him here this evening. Coming out of 4, it'll be Louis, more action, Jackson, your heat race winner number 2 on the evening. Followed by the 33 of Corey Winters, the 74 of Neil Provost, the 03 of Josh Jock, and the 11 of Brian
McCourt, and the 20 of Dan Jalbert. That is your field. Green flag is back out. We're underway. And already into 1 and 2, Tom Conklin down on the inside. He's trying to go up to the lead early as Christian Smoke working the top side. Conklin down low, and Tom Conklin will get the lead in turn number 3. Christian Smoke pushes up the racetrack. Conklin says, thank you very much. I'll go to the lead. John McCourt hammers the wall in turn 4.
Actually, Tim, I believe the 76X, it is John McCourt. Okay, last week that car
model division started running in the sportsman class a few years later, got out of racing for a while, jumped into the modifieds, jumped back into a sportsman. I think he's run everything except bicycles out there, but I'm sure if you offered him a ride in a bicycle, he'd take it.
Without doubt, Dan Jalbert, a very competitive racer. Tom Conklin now gets off to a great jump, but making the move on the inside is the 27 of Sheldon Hargworth. On the outside of him is the 9 of Christian Smoke. He'll push up the track a little bit, open up the door, but Smoke comes back now as he closes the back door.
And Tom Conklin all by himself in that top spot. Sheldon Hugworth has not won here since opening day, but he's had a very consistent season, running in third in the points right now coming into tonight. Dan Jalbert back to the number 3 spot. He's gotten by Billy Cook and Christian Smoke as Cook is working on Christian Smoke for the number 4 spot.
Well, one thing I've noticed here is that Christian Smoke has got to push it. Is it in the car? Is he putting it too hard into the corners, causing the car to drift up higher as he goes into the turns? But certainly Tom Conklin with a comfortable lead now, but the battle for second continues between Jalbert and the 27 of Sheldon Hurgworth.
And halfway sign is out. Conklin still leads the way. Jalbert starting to close in on Hugworth for that number 2 spot. This battle could get interesting here as we come down into turn number 3 and 4. Conklin off of turn 4 with the top spot, but Hugworth is going to have his hands full here in a couple of laps.
Well, Dan Jalbert, he's turned many a laps on this racing service at Frogtown, now in the Mohawk International Raceway. He knows the fast way around the track. Tom Conklin now with about a 15-car length lead as he comes out of 4. He'll collect the 2 to go sign as Tom Conklin continues to lead this heat race.
June the 3rd was Tom's first and only sportsman win here at Mohawk, and he'd like to change that here tonight. Sheldon Hugworth holding down second. Jalbert, as we mentioned, won here several times in the modifieds, was actually a contender for the modified track title some years ago. Rounds out your top 3. White flag in the air for Tommy Conklin.
Well, as you see the 20J of Dan Jalbert, he's trying different grooves. That's a veteran move right there itself, trying to find where's some bite going to be come later on in the future time as the mod lights are up next on the starting grid. And now to collect the checkers will be the 29 of Tom Conklin, followed by the 27 of Sheldon Hurgworth, the 20J of Dan Jalbert, and rounding out, the 9.
The 30 of Tim Reef takes him into turn number 1 with the lead. Scott Mayer in the 21 back there in position number 2. Then it is the number 11 machine. I believe this could either be Brian Green or Matt Mutin. We'll have to see as they come by as Mayer spins over there. That is actually Sylvain Laframboise in the number 7. And caution flag is out, and that is Brian Green out there. 6 cars set to do battle here. Green flag is in the air. Brian Green is back to the number 1 spot, a place he was familiar with last week. We got to apologize to Brian. Of course, he ran very strong last week. Didn't know he'd switched rides back in his familiar number 11 machine and running very strong in the number 1 spot. Tim Reef, your good friend out there, running in the number 2 spot.
Well, Tim Reef back out with new metal. It also looks like new sheet metal on that car. But Brian Green has a lot of experience in these cars. I do believe he's raced all over Can-Am and around New York State at various tracks with this, so we'll have to confirm that. But Tim Reef in second, and in the number 3 position is the number 4 car, Tim, and that would be, the 21J of Scott Muir, the 03 of another Reef. That is Tim's son. Dan Reef, as we've got 3 in the books, Tim. As heading into turns 3 and 4, it will be Brian Green, last week's feature winner.
Sylvain Laframboise completes the top 5, but Brian Green, who's got 1 win here, he also has 2 wins over at Can-Am this year as well, and he is one of the masters of this class. Tim Reef holding on to that 2nd spot. Then it's Scott Mayer into 3rd. Dan Reef is 4th. Sylvain Laframboise rounds out your top 5, and Lacey Cox in the 33 completes the field. White flag in the air this time by for Brian Green.
Brian Green continues to be your heat race leader, number 1 here, followed by the 30 of Chris Reef. Brian Green certainly enjoying his time here in the mini mods at the Mohawk International Raceway, and we've welcomed them for every week for the rest of the season now, as Brian Green going to settle comfortably coming out of 4, coming around to collect the checkers in heat race number 1, followed by Chris Reef, the 21G of Scott Muir, the 03 of Dan Reef, and the 7 back. Welcome back, Dean, to Mohawk.
And, of course, that move you mentioned went from 6th to 1st just on the front straightaway alone. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in this one. Green flag is back out. As Dean Pronovost holds on to the top spot as the 24 of believe the 24 tonight is Eric Varon. We'll have to check that out. But Matthew Robinson holding on to that number 2 spot as Matt Mutin in the number 11 works from 4th. Then it's the 46 of Dave Bell. But off turn number 4, Pronovost, who has not lost his edge whatsoever, comes down the front straightaway with that top spot. Of course, Dean won the first ever qualifying heat and the first ever Mod Light feature here at Mohawk International Raceway, and trying to get another one here tonight as they work into turns 3 and 4. It's Pronovost leading the way down the front straightaway. That 24 machine holding down that second spot, as Matt Mutin in the number 11 holding down third. Then it's Robinson into 4th. And then Bell rounds out your top 5. But, Brian, it's been all Dean Pronovost, and that flip last week has not thrown him off one bit.
No, you can tell he's a hard-charging competitor week in, week out. Very hard wreck. He came back, and certainly no worse for the wear, as Pronovost really, Tim, kind of mastered this track, so to speak. The first night out of the box, they dominated. Second night, he had a strong run and had the unfortunate accident. But now making the move on the high side here, and trying to get by is the 11M of Matt Mutin, unable to complete the pass for a second, but Pronovost having his way with this heat race number 2.
As they work down the back straightaway, Pronovost will lead him into turn number 3 this time by. Mutin going to the low side. He'll pick off the second spot. Checkered flag will be out this time by, and Mutin actually closed in on Pronovost, but he's going to run out of laps. Might just have what it takes to get this win here. He's won here twice this season. We'll have to see if he can keep it up. Green flag is out, 20 laps the distance. We're underway, and we're trying this 3-wide thing already into turns 1 and 2. Denway, John Green will get the position away from Owen White as they work down the back straightaway. Ernie Cree, the man of the hour, he leads them going into turn number 3. Daryl Mitchell, John Green, Dan Denway, and the ON of Owen White complete your top 5 early.
Ernie Cree will come around and he'll lead lap number 1. Behind him, a strong field of cars. The 37 of Daryl Mitchell on the inside. On the outside of him is the 22 of John Green. John Green going to go upstairs, look for a little bite, can't find anything there. Now Dan Denway on the move on the inside going into turns 3 and 4. Rounding out your top 5 is Owen White.
And John Green way out of shape up in turn number 4. Derek Colbert's going to dive to the inside, and Colbert will get the number 4 spot. Or number 5 spot, rather. John Green looking to battle back. Mike and Trevor Gaucher having it out. Those two, it's a brother affair out there for 6th and 7th. As they come down the back straightaway, Ernie Cree all by himself in that number 1 spot. As a good battle going on from 2nd on back.
So Ernie Cree takes the benefits of Denway and Daryl Mitchell as they continue to battle for the number 2 spot. Owen White sitting pretty in 4th. Now he'll dive to the bottom of Denway. Denway will say, "Shut the front door. You're not getting in there, Owen White." Now as they go into turns 3 and 4, it is a drag race between Daryl Mitchell and Dan Denway. Denway sticks to the bottom. Mitchell on the high side. He'll come around, and he will be in 2nd place on lap number 4.
And Cree with the advantage, but that 2nd spot still up for grabs here as Daryl Mitchell has it on the top side of the speedway. Denway right down low, and Owen White looking to come up into this mix as well as Mitchell goes way to the top side, and he pounds the wall in turn number 3. A hard lick, and Nolan Swamp into the same spot. The Swamp's able to keep going, but Daryl Mitchell looks like he's trying to pull away as well. Swamp will immediately go pit side. Mitchell looks like he tried to refire. In 4th, Mike Gaucher completes the top 5. Green flag will fly, and Denway gets Ernie Cree on the restart here, and a good job. A great way to pay attention to that green flag as Dan Denway is your new leader going into turn 1, number 2.
So it'll be a drag race on the backstretch between the 18 of Ernie Cree and the 64 of Denway. They come into turns 3 and 4. Cree on the top, Denway on the bottom. He's got some bite now. He'll drift up into turns 3 and 4 and force Ernie Cree around to the high side, but Ernie Cree will lead lap number 6 as we actually have caution on the field, Tim, as I believe we have a car in the back.
Won many races. Maybe he could come from the back of this one. We'll have to wait and see, though.
So on the refire, it is Denway coming around to get the green. Ernie Cree on the top. Behind him, Owen White in the number 3 spot. Derek Colbert got his machine back under power. No smoke here for the feature. Now Colbert looking to split the difference between Cree and Owen White. Denway on the bottom, Cree on top. Cree's going to loop it coming into turns 3 and 4. Regathers it back up, but he's going to drop a ton of positions, Tim.
what a save. That is probably the save of the year right there for Ernie Cree. Looked like he was gone. Now he's behind Corey Castell, and could be in danger of losing this race. Even though it is 20 laps, still a lot of time to make up, as Nolan Swamp has made up quite a bit of time. He's down to the 4th spot, but Dan Denway off of turn number 4 has the lead as they come down to complete lap number 8.
Denway settling comfortably into that number 1 position. He's had some strong runs here, but not for a lack of talent. He has not been able to win here, as now Owen White going into turns 3 and 4 is going to look to put his machine to the bottom, force Denway to the top. As now Colbert's going to have a little bit of mechanical problems, as he's going to be looking to take a track side as he drops off, giving way to Nolan Swamp, John Green, and the 18 of Ernie Cree.
And Colbert is slow to a stop up here off of turn number 4, and that will bring out the caution. With 9 laps complete, 1 landed feature go. Who will come away with the win? Dan Denway will fire from the top side. Green flag flies. And Owen White able to stay with him on that restart. Denway able to get a good jump on him, though, as they go into turns 1 and 2. Owen White holding on to position number 2. Then it's Nolan Swamp back to 3rd. John Green is 4th. Ernie Cree, despite almost looping it in turn number 4, holds on to the number 5 spot. He's got Corey Castell right there behind him in 6th. Up in front, though, it's 10 in and 10 more to go for Dan Denway. And, of course, Dan picked up, as I mentioned, his first 2 career wins at Cornwall earlier this year, and he'd like to add a Mohawk feature win to his resume as well. And the 47 of Blaze Benedict having problems on the right front, a right front flat tire for the 47, and he will go pit side. Up in front, though, it's Denway, White, and Swamp, your top 3. As they head through turns 1 and 2, Denway able to keep the White machine behind him, as Owen had a run down on the inside, but Denway shuts the door on him. Into turns 3 and 4 they go. Denway, your leader, White, and Nolan Swamp, your top 3, as they come down the front straightaway one more time. Your top 3 grouped right there together. Very close action in the top 3. As Ernie Cree holds down 4th, we got caution on the speedway. And not sure. And we got debris actually over there in between turns 3 and 4. As you mentioned, things could get interesting come later stages of this event. We're back under green.
So Denway with 8 laps to go remains your race leader, now followed by the ON of Owen White. Nolan Swamp going to go to the high side looking for a little more bite now. Owen White's going to drift to the high side. Probably try the old inside-outside move now as Owen White looking for the bottom groove here. But Dan Denway will lead lap number 12, Tim, as we come around with 8 to go. Dan Denway continues to be your race leader. Owen White still in 2nd.
8 points separate the top 2 drivers, Owen White, John Green. Ernie Cree 9 points back of that. So it looks like even Derek Colbert is in line to win this track or this series title as well. And I tell you what, 4 drivers right there running in the top 5 could have a shot to win this one. Dan Denway, one of the only spoilers in this one, of course, not running for series points, but he can come away with a feature win as they head through turns 3 and 4. It looks like Denway starting to pull away from the rest of the field as they come down with 5 to go.
Well, Denway getting stronger as this feature goes on. His car pretty strong on the restarts, and car seems to be pretty much getting pretty much stronger as the feature goes on. But now Owen White is going to have to contend with the number 1 of Nolan Swamp. Now Ernie Cree on the move. He battled his way up now to the number 4 position. Nolan Swamp all over the rear bumper of Owen White. Cannot complete the pass coming out at turn 4. 4 laps to go, Tim. Dan Denway continues to lead.
And Denway looking very strong out there. It seems like the longer this race goes under green, it looks like Denway's car is just that much faster than the rest of the field as they work off of turns 3 and 4. Owen White holding on to that 2nd spot, experiencing some pressure from Nolan Swamp, and John Green's car goes up in a cloud of smoke over there in turn number 4. And that will bring out the caution flag, and that thing is overheated big time over there in turn number 4. And not exactly sure what happened. By the way, the smoke's coming out of that car. It looks like something maybe in the radiator, possibly. And right now, Dan Denway has the upper hand as he is led from lap number 5 on. We're back under green. Owen White, Nolan Swamp getting into one another, and This is going to allow Denway to get away by a couple of car lengths here as Owen White got a little bit out of shape coming off of turn number 1. And here comes Nolan Swamp after him down the back straightaway. Coming around this time, it'll be 2 laps left to go. Can Denway hang on for his first ever Mohawk feature win?
Well, Owen White, Nolan Swamp giving their machines everything they've got, trying to catch Dan Denway. But Denway enjoying the racing for second behind him as he's able to get about a 4-car length lead now as you head into turns 3 and 4. Denway, your leader, as he still is being chased down by Owen White. Nolan Swamp going to get a little sideways coming into 4, and that'll certainly slow down the pack behind him.
And he has got a flat on the right rear. White flag is in the air. It's down to 2 drivers now. Dan Denway is your leader. If Owen White can stay in that spot he's in right now, he will claim the first ever CKON Bandit Series title. But off of turn number 4, it's Mohawk career win number 1 for Dan Denway in the 64 machine. Owen White in second. Derek Colbert, Ernie Cree, and Mike Gaucher will cross in the number 5 spot. And hopefully next season, if we have the mod lights on hand with us each and every week, we'll be able to get a mini-series going for them as well. As Dan Denway comes down into victory lane for the very first time here at Mohawk. I always tell Denway's crew as they've got those bright orange shirts out there. There they are. Yes, sir. Feature win number 1 for Denway. He's got 2 over in Cornwall. One of the better seasons he's had of his career. And Andy Watts and Rick Young down there taking some great photographs. And there's another one. How about a round of applause for Dan Denway and Brian Page? It's all up to you, man.
Thank you very much, Tim. Down here with first-time winner Dan Denway. Dan, congratulations. You've been racing here off and on the last few weeks. You finally brought her home to victory lane this evening.
Yeah, it feels good. We've did some improvements since last year and finally got some tire size. This week track's pretty good there. We got some grip, especially up in the middle there. Can't thank my crew enough for all their help today there. So we'll see if we can go have some food and maybe celebrate a little bit.
So Dan, you got 1 now at the Mohawk International Raceway. You're going to try for 2 in a row next week?
We'll see what happens there. We'll try our best.
All right, Dan, and anybody you want to thank really quick before we let you go this evening?
I'd like to thank my sponsor, RSI Industrial, 4 Refuel, ExploreNet, JS Tektronix, Yum Yum Chips, and my family and my friends here.
Well, thank you once again. Congratulations to the 64 of Dan Denway.
And unofficially, the man behind Denway, who finished in the runner-up spot tonight, is your CKON Bandit Series champion, and that will be Owen White. And
Well, Tim, we'll get a quick word here with Owen White, the CKON Series Race champion. And Owen, congratulations on getting the series victory, but you certainly didn't want to win it by finishing second tonight, did you?
No, I didn't. I was just trying to stay consistent out there, make sure I didn't burn my tires off. Dan had a real fast car. He was driving real good. I got on side of him a couple of times, but then that caution kept coming out twice.
So you win the series and the overall championship. Anybody you'd like to thank, Owen?
Oh, I'd like to thank my father, my grandfather, my grandparents, my mother, my girlfriend.
Which girlfriend?
Swamp's Performance. They got me the tires. Smoking Arrows. Mohawk Spring Water.
Well, thank you very much. And your CKON Bandit Series champion, the Owen of Owen White. Now you're just all over me about it.
absolutely. Green flag is out. We're underway. Todd Stone quickly into turns 1 and 2 with the top spot. John Lazor got caught out of line. He pushed way up the racetrack, and Perry Francis slides up in front of the 19, but it allows Rabbie to get on by. Rabbie will go up to 5th. Meanwhile, up in front, Todd Stone leads in lap number 1.
Well, the 55 of Perry Francis, him and his lovely bride celebrating their anniversary yesterday. Nothing would be better as for an anniversary gift than winning a feature race here this evening. The man on the move, the 1X of Todd Stone, looking to get his first victory of the 2011 season, followed by Kerry Tarrance, Gage Moran, Chris Raby, and the 2 of Delbert LeGros, and caution on the field.
And Derek Martin has spun to the outside of turn, but Danny is still tough week in and week out. Of course, Danny was running regular at Brockville last season.
So they fire away. The 1X of Todd Stone leads the way going into turn now, coming out of 2. It'll be Gage Moran, the 66X of Kerry Tarrance, and the 01 of Chris Raby, followed by the 74 of Matt Billings, rounding out your top 5. Tarrance going to kick it up a notch to the high side, looking for some bite. Gage Moran's got the second position.
And it looks like he tried something on the outside part of the speedway. Didn't quite work. He may lose another spot to Chris Raby as Raby is down on the bottom, and Raby will take away the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Billings starting to go to work. He pulls up to the back bumper of Kerry Tarrance, who gets into the back bumper of Raby. That's going to cost him a couple more spots as Tarrance losing a lot of ground early on.
Sitting back in the field in the number 5 spot now is the 17D of Danny O'Brien. He'll make the move on the inside of Billings as they go into turns 3 and 4. Danny O'Brien's got the number 4 position now, sets his sights on the 01 of Chris Raby.
And Danny is charging up through this field. He started in the number 12 spot as Kerry Tarrance starting to lose more positions out there as Billings gets by. So Matt Billings up into the 5th spot. Todd Stone's up to the top side of the speedway. It looks like he has found something up there as he goes away from Gage Moran down the front straightaway.
Todd Stone took it to the high side going into turns 3 and 4, and you are exactly right, Tim. He did find something there. The great racing for second will continue now. The 01 of Chris Raby looking to reel in the 16 of Gage Moran on the bottom. But now here comes Danny O'Brien in 4th, starting to close that gap between him and Chris Raby. And rounding out your top 5 will be the 66X of Kerry Tarrance.
And he's been having a spirited battle out there with Matt Billings in the 74 as Billings loses the number 5 spot. Kerry Tarrance has found something on the top side through 3 and 4. Didn't use it that time. He stays to the bottom, possibly trying to save some tires. But looking back through this field, Timmy O'Brien has found something upstairs as well. He gets around Sykes, picks off the number 9 spot.
So the battle for the number 2 position continues. 16 of Gage Moran, the 20-year-old out of Cornwall, with 3 years of racing experience in the 358 modifieds, paying him justice here this evening. Todd Stone's your race leader as he heads into turns 1 and 2.
And he was running on the bottom of the speedway, drifted up a little bit off of 2. That's going to allow for Moore and Raby to close in. But here comes a couple of veterans behind him as Danny O'Brien's got the bottom working. Kerry Tarrance has got the top working. Who's it going to be? We'll find out in about 15 laps here. But Todd Stone once again up the racetrack. Here comes Moran with a bid for the lead down the backstretch.
It's a drag race going into turns 3 and 4. On the bottom, Todd Stone on top. Todd Stone finds a little something, but Gage Moran says, I found a little something more here on the bottom. He'll come around. He'll lead lap number 11 for Gage Moran, but Todd Stone's still there. But now, on the bottom of the 01, it is the 17 of Danny O'Brien taking a peek on the inside. And Tim, you got to wonder, is Danny O'Brien saving his tires for a little bit later?
I'll tell you what, Todd Stone saved lap traffic for Gage Moran. 3 wide coming off of turn number 4. And I tell you what, lap traffic is dicey out there. And O'Brien gets into the back of Jason Bruno. Action all over the place here, Brian, as now Gage Moran's back to the lead. Kerry Tarrance picks up a spot from Danny O'Brien. Chris Raby looking for room to go. Top 6 drivers starting to make this race a little bit more interesting out here.
Well, the cream's starting to rise to the crop at the halfway point now as Gage Moran is your race leader. Todd Stone trying to find some bite on the high side. Now he'll drop to the bottom. He'll have to contend with the 01 of Chris Raby. Lap traffic's going to go to the high side. Open up the bottom for Gage Moran. Lap traffic certainly a factor here this evening.
Absolutely. And Gage Moran has actually started to open up his lead just a little bit out there. Todd Stone up the racetrack once again. Raby to the number 2 spot as they work down the back straightaway. Now Moran gets up underneath the 29 of Preston Forbes. And he will get by Forbes as now Raby is closed in on Moran for the number 1 spot.
Now Kerry Torrance able to get by the 17 of Danny O'Brien for the number 4 position. And now Kerry Torrance, he's going to make his way up into the number 3 spot. He gets by the 1X of Todd Stone. Gage Moran still your race leader, given a shove there by Rick Miller as Chris Raby got into the backside of Rick Miller.
And Miller holding Raby up here down the front stretch. Raby able to get by. And now Kerry Torrance just about got a piece of Rick Miller. O'Brien to the bottom. Torrance shuts the door. Good battle going on in the top 5 here as we complete lap number 16 coming around. Lap 17 will be up on the board. 8 laps remaining.
Kerry Torrance, he's going to go to the high side. He's found some bite there. He'll continue to try to run down the 16 of Gage Moran and the 01 of Chris Raby. Chris Raby in second now. Gage Moran your leader as they go into turns 3 and 4. Moran on the bottom, Raby on the bottom, looking for one of these young hot shoes to make a slip up and for the other one to get by.
I tell you what, Chris Raby is flirting with danger. He is right against those white tires down on the inside, and it's right now a 2-horse race as they go down the back straightaway. Kerry Torrance is solidly into the 3rd spot. Danny O'Brien holds down 4th. Now Matt Billings is cracked back into the top 5 as he is 5th. John Lazor, Todd Stone, Timmy O'Brien, Jeff Sykes, and Brian McDonald complete your top 10.
So now it is the 16 of Gage Moran, the 01 of Chris Raby. 40 years between them, 41 years between them, 20 and 21 years old respectively. Moran your leader. Now Raby goes even further to the bottom but cannot make the move past, and he gets into the backside of Gage Moran and spins him going into turns 1.
And collected Kerry Torrance in the process over there. Oh my goodness. Things are going to be interesting now.
Business is about to pick up, Tim, as they say. Zor in 4th, rounding out your top 5, the 1X of Todd Stone.
Green flag is back out, and Torrance able to get away from Danny O'Brien. Matt Billings into this mix as well. And here comes O'Brien with a look down on the inside. Torrance able to fight him off down the back straightaway, but Danny O'Brien looks to have the faster car. Caution flag is out. Melvin Rush spun over there in turn number 2, able to keep it going, but Derek Martin also involved, and the caution flag is survival out there, and then you just kind of run as hard as you can the last 10 laps. We'll have to wait and see. Green flag back in the air.
So Torrance and O'Brien will take the green. 5 laps to go. Torrance going to go to the bottom on turns 1 and 2. O'Brien in pursuit coming out of 2 now. The man on the move, the 19 of John Lazor to the high side. It'll be Kerry Torrance on the bottom, but John Lazor going to go to the high side, getting around Matt Billings. Number 3 spot.
And I'll tell you what, Torrance has got some issues with that 66 machine, and this might open the door for John Lazor on the top side. Torrance off of turn number 2's got this lead so far as they work the back straightaway. O'Brien is 2nd, then it is Lazor in the 3rd. Matt Billings is 4th. Torrance up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes John Lazor on the top side. 3 laps to go.
John Lazor looking for a victory here this evening. Trying to put some past troubles this season behind him, but now he's battling with Danny O'Brien. Danny O'Brien trying to battle with Kerry Torrance. John and Lazor to the top side in turns 3 and 4. John Lazor looking to make the pass.
And this would be something if Lazor could pull this one off. 2 more laps remain. And Lazor sticks his nose up to the top side. Danny O'Brien back to the runner-up spot as they head to the back straightaway. Kerry Torrance looking for his 2nd win of the season. As I mentioned, Danny O'Brien going to the top side. John Lazor into him off of turn 4. White flag in the air.
Hard racing. Great job by John Lazor getting off the gas, letting Danny O'Brien collect himself. Now Danny O'Brien to the top side on the backstretch. He's going to look to make a move going into turn 3. Danny O'Brien on top. Kerry Torrance on the bottom. Kerry Torrance is going to stick to the bottom. Danny O'Brien coming out of turn 4. Danny O'Brien. What a tremendous finish, fans. Danny O'Brien leads the last 50 yards of the race and wins tonight's 3:58.25 lapper, followed by... I'll be sending it trackside momentarily to my good friend Tim Baltz as he'll be interviewing the winner as he pulls into victory lane, the 17D of Danny the Pocket Rocket O'Brien. And as he's getting the straps undone, getting himself out of the car, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's 358 Dirt Modified winner, as his crew will be coming down to congratulate him as well as Rick Youngs and Andy Watts. Danny O'Brien with the helmet now, going to be getting out of the car momentarily as he'll get the steering wheel off as well, as his crew congratulating him on a tremendous, tremendous victory here this evening. He's starting to climb out of the car. Let's hear it for the 17D, Danny O'Brien. You should be good to go, Tim.
There we go. We got her working now. Is this what you do? You just come up here on a one-off thing, come up here and win, and then go home again?
We took some time off in late July, early August. It was warm, and we had planned to do that. And what a beautiful track. I mean, I wanted to wait till a couple to go to try the outside, and John Lazor kind of woke me up, and he was game on after that. That was been a hell of a finish, but I think Kerry had it won. He had his front end bent up for when they got together down there, so he probably had one taken away from him tonight.
I'll tell you what, you've been the master of these last lap passes. You did it to your little brother at Brockville. Now you do it to the defending track champ, Kerry Trance. Something about this speedway, I don't know what it is, but you lure Kerry around the bottom, and then you just went to the top. Did your car work better up top, or was the bottom really the place to be?
I think the bottom was good, but he was slowing down at the end. He was so tight, and I mean, you can race all three grooves. The track is just beautiful here tonight. I can't say enough about it, and it makes for great racing.
Absolutely, and I know you got your ton of sponsors. Your mom's here, and everybody behind this.
Yeah, it's a great crew. My mother being here is really good, and Pat Morrison, Ponte Brothers Masonry, Bob FM, Thousand Islands RV, Bicknell Race Cars. They all make this work, and it's just an honor to be part of it all.
You're going to do this again tomorrow night at Brockville?
Brockville's hit and miss. I mean, we're real good, and then we're off a bit, so. Car's all in one piece. We can just work on some speed for tomorrow night and see what happens.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you down in front again, Danny.
We'll try hard. Thanks a lot. Thanks to all the fans for supporting us.
All right. Congratulations. Win number one in appearance number one for Danny O'Brien. Series. And looking for yet another win here tonight is Mike White, already pulling pit side with the 1X. Green flag is out. Two drivers on the front row have won their first ever heat events, get into one another, and Corey Winter's able to persevere, and he'll go to the number one spot as they hit the back straightaway. Neil Provost holding down second, and Thunder Anderson able to hold down third. It's Christian Smoke, Tom Conklin, your top five.
Tough break there for the 18 of Louis Jackson, as him and Thunder Anderson were fighting for the same piece of real estate. Corey Winters, as you mentioned, Tim, the lucky recipient of that unfortunate incident. He continues to lead going into turns 3 and 4 with Provost. Now Conklin's going to go to the high side looking to get around Provost. In fourth, it is Christian Smoke. And rounding out your top five, the 30X of Thunder Anderson.
As your field works through turns 1 and 2, the 1X of Mike White has returned to the speedway a couple laps down to the leaders. And Corey Winters leading this field into turns 1 and 2. Neil Provost having a good run so far into second. Then it is Tom Conklin, Christian Smoke, third and fourth. Josh Jock having a good run so far into the number 5 spot. Your reigning rookie of the year, Brent Kelsey, battling up underneath the 03 of Jock. And Kelsey will grab that number 5 spot, pushing Jock back to the number 6 position. He's in danger of losing a couple more spots as Dylan Evoy has gotten by Thunder Anderson to pick off 7th.
Well, Tim, the last time I remember the track being dry and slick like this, Tom Conklin was the race winner, as now he battles Neil Provost for the number 2 position. They will go into turns 3 and 4. Provost on top, Conklin on the bottom. Corey Winters, your race leader. He's starting to have some company as he comes around to complete lap number 4.
And I'll tell you what, Neil Provost actually moved up a lane, and it is paying off for him as he is drawn even with Corey Winters down the back straightaway. Winters on the bottom, Provost on the top side. Tommy Conklin right into this mix as well as Provost going the long way around. And Neil Provost, your new leader, as they work lap number 6.
The 33 machine opens the door and then slams the door shut. But Tom Conklin now going to make the move for the number 2 position. He cannot complete the pass. Provost now will be the lucky recipient as he gets a little more space and time. But now Conklin takes over the number 2 position, followed by Corey Winters. Now going to the high side, the 83 of Dylan Convoy.
As they work lap number 7, Evoy making a run at the top of the speedway. course, Evoy, as we mentioned, 6 feature wins on the season, including the last 2 in a row. Could he pull off the hat trick tonight? We'll have to wait and see. But right now, everybody's chasing Neil Provost, and we haven't seen much of Neil up at the front of the field this year, only in qualifying heats, but he is putting on quite a show out there. It's a good battle again for the number 2 spot.
Well, I've said it about many racers, and I do mean it each and every time. Neil Provost getting better as the season progresses here. But the race now is for the number 2 position. Evoy on the inside. Conklin, the 29 machine, on the outside. Evoy now is in second. And Tim, he's going to be looking to reel in race leader 74 of Neil Provost.
And Evoy, who started towards the tail of this field, has now worked his way to second. Conklin is third. The man on the move in this field, though, is Dan Gelbert, as he has worked his way up to the back bumper of Christian Smoke, and he's battling Smoke for the 6th spot. They come off at turn number 4, side by side at the halfway point.
Provost, your race leader, now Dylan Evoy in second, looking to reel him in. He's got about 10 laps to do so. Evoy going to stick to the bottom. Provost finding an incredible groove for him up top. Evoy says, what do you got up here, Neil?
And Neil's got that top spot is what he has, and he's working that outside groove pretty well right now. It's going to make it tough for Evoy. He's closed in on him a little bit, but Provost, once again, he's got that car wound up on the outside part of the speedway. The momentum is everything, and Corey Winters, after a great top 5 run, is spun in between turns 1 and 2.
Well,
One of the factors in that year for the track title and the modifieds, good to see him back out here in the Sportsman's. Green flag is back out. Can Neil Provost hold off the virtually unbeatable Dylan Evoy? We'll have to wait and find out. And, well, Evoy's going to decide that as they come off of turn 2.
Dylan leads the convoy. Evoy now is your race leader. He went to the bottom. Provost going to stick to the top. He's still finding some bite up there. Now Provost at the line continues to drag race with the 83 of Dylan Evoy. What a tremendous race we've got here this evening, folks, in the Sportsman rank. Tim, look at Neil Provost go to the outside now as they head into turns 3 and 4.
And Provost is not giving up. He may know that Dylan Evoy has been the dominant car all year, but Provost wants his share as well as Provost drives back around Dylan Evoy. How many times have we seen that this year? Pretty much none, as Evoy down on the bottom. Neil Provost on the outside. 2 by 2 as they go into turn number 3. Tom Conklin, Brent Kelsey, and Dan Gelbert, your top 5 this time.
So it is Evoy and Provost. Provost finding some great bite up top, able to be continuing your race leader here, as now Evoy is going to go to the bottom coming out of 2. Evoy, can he find enough bite on the bottom? I don't think so, as Provost now goes to the top side going into turns 3 and 4. It is Provost and Evoy coming out of turn 4.
Well, I tell you what, if Provost wins this feature tonight, he will have definitely earned it, as Evoy is not going to give it up too easily. They're going to fight back on the bottom, but Evoy just not strong enough up off the bottom of the speedway, as Provost will hold the line down the backstretch and actually pull away going into turns 3 and 4. Evoy's going to set him up, trying him off the top side here. Loses a little bit of ground. Provost starting to pull away.
Provost doing a tremendous job, Tim. He's hitting his marks on the top side each lap, very smooth, and he's getting on the gas in the right places coming out of the turns. Now Evoy starting to drift back a little bit. Tom Conklin in third, Dan Gelbert in fourth, and Brent Kensley rounding out your top 5 now as Provost will come around to complete lap number 16. 4 more to go.
And right now, 17 up on the board, and Provost starting to look like he may run away with this one, but Dylan Evoy is not through yet. They're going to go into turns 3 and 4. Evoy is going back to the bottom. They're going to be side by side coming off of turn 4. Evoy gets a great bite. They're side by side with 2 laps to go. It's Provost on the top side, Evoy on the bottom, and Provost not giving up anything. He comes off of turn number 2. Evoy right there with him, back there in the 3rd spot. Tom Conklin has his hands full with Dan Gelbert, Mike Arquette, and Brent Kelsey holding each other off for 4th and 5th. White flag in the air. Evoy leads lap number 19 that time by. Provost a little out of shape in turn 2. Evoy starts to pull away down the back straightaway. That could have been the pass for the win. Into turns 3 and 4. Dylan Evoy is going to come off of turns 3 and 4 for his 3rd straight win and 7th of the season here at Mohawk. Neil Provost, a hard-fought 2nd place finish. Dan Gelbert, Tom Conklin, and Brent Kelsey, your top 5. What a drive out there. 2 drivers at the front of the field were not going to give up. Dylan Evoy immediately heading to the Scales pit sign. Neil Provost just behind him as Sallows and Jenna David get into one another on the front stretch. And David comes to a stop here on the front straightaway. Feature win of the season. And that leads all drivers in dirt car racing for 2010, or 2011, I should say. 7 wins here. 2 wins at Brockville, 1 win at Can-Am. One of the best seasons he's had since moving up to the sportsman ranks. So Evoy will be getting unbuckled here, and he'll be up out of the car, and he'll be able to hear your applause as here he is up out of the car. How about a form? 3 in a row, 7th on the season for Dylan Evoy. And Brian, it's all down to you, man.
Well, thank you very much, Tim Baltz. I'll be joined here momentarily by the 83, Dylan Evoy. Dylan, congratulations, 3 in a row, bud. Take us back with 5 laps to go. Provost running the high side, you're trying to bottom. What are you thinking?
Yeah, you know, he had a ton of drive off the top, and I was trying to use the moisture on the bottom to get more of a run off, but you know, I slid up a few times there and lost a little ground on him, and I knew the last couple laps I got to make him bang on to reel him back in, and I had the last 3 laps were like really good, and we reeled him back in, and we were able to get by him on the last lap.
Now, there was talk this week about your crate motor. I read it's how many races does this crate motor have on it right now?
It's going, and it's almost near 60 on it, so she's still running strong, and we plan to keep running it.
Now, 60 crate races on it. How many are feature winners?
That's a good question. I don't know. You're thinking I'm looking around 10 or 12.
You weren't thinking a math question tonight, were you, Dylan?
Yeah, I don't know. Not really. I'm in the racing.
Well, Dylan, you're off to Brockville tomorrow night. Anyone you'd like to thank here this evening?
I definitely got to thank my dad, my Uncle Jeff, my mom, my grandma and grandpa, my guy Kersey, Ogilvy's Auto and Fleet, Fireball, Rona, Thousand Islands RV Center, Charleston Lake, Unity Savings. I couldn't do without him.
Well, thank you very much. The 83 of Dylan Evoy.
25 laps the distance. First appearance for Revstar here at Mohawk. Green flag flies. We are underway. 20 cars strong in this field, and Yannick Poirier up to the number 1 spot. Look at Mathieu down on the inside. And Yannick Mathieu going up to the number 2 spot, or at least trying to, as Matthew Day holding on to position number 2 at this time. It's Mathieu holding on to 3rd. On the front straightaway they go. Gary Heber is 4th, followed by the number 10 of Gabriel Riche, the 97, or 79 rather, of Maxime Plant, 14 years of age, holding on to the number 5 position. As they work in turns 3 and 4, it's Poirier right there on the bottom of the speedway. Of course, if you were here for the Empire Super Sprint Show, Steve Poirier collected the feature win. But, Brian, good battle going on right now for the number 2 spot.
These cars came as promised. They said, hey, you're going to see some very tight racing. We're very racy cars, and that's exactly the show they're putting on. Another great feature here this evening. And, you know, the great thing about these cars, Tim, as you're seeing, they can run high, they can run the middle, and they can run the bottom groove. It's very tremendous for them to see as Yannick Poirier continues to lead and starting to be a family tradition here with the success of the Poiriers.
And Steve Poirier has actually won here 4 times with the Empire Super Sprints. And Yannick trying to translate this success over in to the Revstar as the number 6 machine of Kyle Heber has gone into the infield. Looks like something has broke on the front end of that machine, so he is out of harm's way. We will stay green here. Up in front, lap number 4 is up on the board, and caution flag is out as we're going to put it out here for the number 6 of, kill yourself to get to the racetrack every week. And obviously some guy named Poirier is leading this feature, and despite it being a budget class, there is some pretty good competition out there as Richie Tobias Jr. has come up through the field into 12th. He is now riding in spot number 4. He has just gotten by the 56 machine of Gary Heber as they work down the front straightaway, this time by.
So it is Tobias Jr., the man on the move. He'll go to the high side going in. Actually, he'll be sticking on the bottom going in the turns 1 and 2. But Poirier still finding success in the middle of the groove as now he comes into turns 3 and 4. Tobias a little lower now coming out of 4, Tim, as he continues to lead this 25-lap event.
And he is motoring through this field. He's right on the back bumper of Matthew Dagg in the number 11, who seemed to have some handling issues. 14-year-old Maxim Plot on the top side of the speedway, keeping up with the veteran out there as Gary Heber working from that 6th spot. Meanwhile, up in front, the 28 of Poirier continues to lead him in lap number 8.
So Richie Tobias Jr. in 4th, but now we've got a yellow on the field as between turns 3 and 4 we've gotten a car that's come to a complete...
Make a mention of that. They are not sportsman modifieds. They are late model type cars. Back under green here, Brian, and Poirier back to the lead.
And now Richie Tobias Jr. is going to look for the inside groove, get a little bite, get the number 3 position, which he's not able to do as he'll go back to 4th now. Actually, he'll drop back to 5th position as Poirier continues to lead. And I'll tell you what, Tim, Poirier's got some great restarts here this evening, able to break away from the pack.
Well, his brother's a pretty good teacher out there, Steve Poirier, showing him a couple things over the years. And right now, the 11 machine, Matthew Dagg holding on to 2nd, albeit by a slim margin, though, as the 59 of Yannick Mathieu holding on to 3rd. It's Heber into 4th. Tobias completes the top 5 as the 79 machine of Maxim Plot going a long way around Tobias. 14 years of age going around Richie Tobias Jr. That's going to make you feel good.
Well, that's definitely a Facebook post-worthy racing move right there for the youngster, as going by Richie Tobias is no small feat in of itself. Some great racing for the number 4 position continues, Tim, as Poirier continues to lead.
Paul Lotier Jr. just behind that battle, and Stefan Lafrance starting to charge up through this field as well. He now rides in position number 9 here in the number 2 as your field working off of turn number 4. Yannick Poirier in command of it this time by.
So Poirier now with 13 laps to go. We're almost at the halfway point. Tobias Jr. now will settle back into the 6th position, Tim, as the halfway flags will be displayed for Poirier now as he comes out of turn 4.
Down the front straightaway they go, and Yannick Poirier has been the man to beat so far here tonight. Halfway sign is out, 13 in and 12 more to go. Poirier, your leader, followed by the 59 of Yannick Mathieu, and then it is the 11 machine of Matthew Dagg holding on to position number 3. Then it's the 79 of Maxim Plante, followed by the 56 of Gary Heber.
Well, I got to admit, Tim, I believe Yannick Mathieu is starting to reel in Poirier a little bit. Now his lap traffic is going to be an issue as they go into turns 3 and 4. Poirier continues to lead, but Mathieu continuing to reel in Poirier. Now he's going to get hung up a little bit in lap traffic as they come around to complete lap number 14.
Down into turns 1 and 2 they go. We got 10 more laps to go. And Poirier looked like he was getting reeled in there for a minute. Now it looks like he's pulled away by a couple of car lengths as they work into turns 3 and 4 this time. Mathieu is 2nd. Then it is Dagg in 3rd, followed by Plante and Heber, your top 5. As Tobias still battling back there in the 6th position.
Well, the bottom is the place to be in turns 1 and 2, but the high side, the middle groove, if you will, is starting to come into turns 3 and 4. And I believe Yannick Mathieu is starting to find out that that is the place to be.
It definitely is, as Poirier has been running about the middle to the bottom of the racetrack. And Mathieu has been about just in the middle of the racetrack, but up off of the corners, he starts to go in high as they work into turns 3 and 4. This time, one more time by for Poirier. Down the home straightaway, it's Poirier, Mathieu, Dagg, Plante, and Heber still completing your top 5.
7 laps the remaining distance. Can Poirier hang on and hold off the 59 of Yannick Mathieu gets into the wall on the backstretch, and that's going to cost him some distance.
Absolutely, and he flirted with that wall up there. Meanwhile, battle going on for the number 3 spot as Day got a little bit out of shape in turn 4. That's going to cost him the spot as Maxim Plant going down to the inside, and Plant will take away the 3rd spot as they go down the back straightaway, headed for turn number 3.
The 14-year-old Maxim Plot takes over the number 3 position now as he's got some more company coming up behind him of Degg. Degg looking to get by him now as they come around to complete lap 19. 5 laps to go, Tim.
5 more remain, and Yannick Poirier looking to run away with this one. He started on the point and is looking to go post to post here if he possibly can. Off of turn number 4, Poirier continues to lead. 4 more to go.
So, Poirier, your race leader. Yannick Mathieu looking to reel him in, but I think he's going to run out of time here, Tim, as Poirier is starting to really open up the distance between him and that second place car.
As they work down the front straightaway, 3 more to go for Yannick Poirier. First, Yannick won about a month ago back at the Cornwall Speedway. Would like to get one here at Mohawk and join his brother on the feature winners list here. To come down the back straightaway, a half straightaway advantage back to Yannick Mathieu in second. Then it's Maxim Plant into third. The number 11 machine of Matthew Degg holding down fourth. Gary Heber doing a great job holding on to fifth. Tobias runs in sixth. The white flag in the air, and Poirier looks like he may do it. Coming down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag is out, and Yannick Poirier will get the win. Second spot will go to the 59 of Mathieu, followed by Plant. The 11 of Degg and the 56 of Heber will cross in the number 5 spot. So what a show was put on here by Revstar. And much like they did at the Cornwall Speedway a little over a month ago, they have done.
And let's give him a round of applause. The 28 of Yannick Poirier. Watch this. Talking in French. Congrats, mon ami, to victory at Mohawk.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race, I think. I don't know if the other car were near me. The track was a little bit slippery. Sometimes I was out of my track, and I think I got a good car.
En français?
Je pense que j'ai une bonne voiture. J'ai jamais pu évaluer s'il y avait des compétiteurs proches. J'ai forcé un peu toute la course. J'ai échappé ma ligne de course une fois ou deux. J'aurais pu... Mais je pense que j'avais une bonne voiture.
Merci beaucoup, and congratulations. The 28 of Yannick Poirier.
Here in the 21 alongside. Green flag will be displayed. We are underway.
As on the green flag, Sylvain Laframboy, victim of circumstances there, as a car in front of him didn't fire as quickly as he thought, Tim. But getting away to the early lead is the 30 machine of Tim Reefman. Going on the outside is the 11 of Matt Mutin, as he'll come around and he'll lead lap number 1.
And Mutin on the gas is the 24 machine, all out of shape down here in the front stretch. Dean Pronovost is going to go to the outside part of the speedway. Brian Green and Matthew Robinson into that mix as well. But up in front, it is Matt Mutin, your early leader, Tim Reef, following back there in spot number 2. I believe that is Eric Barron in the 24. I'd have to check on that, though. As they come down the front straightaway, it's Mutin, your leader.
Well, the Mod Lights continue to impress each and every week. They seem to get better and better as they get used to the handling of the track, and they're going topless tonight. Matt Newton having his way with the feature event tonight as Chris Reef is settling into second position, but the man on the move is the last week's feature winner in the third position.
Absolutely, and Brian Green starting to come into this battle here. 3 laps up on the scoreboard as Matthew Robinson, Dean Pronovost having it out back there along with Dan Reef and Scott Mears. Sylvain Laframboise, Dave Bell, and Lacey Cox complete the rest of the field as Matt Mutin off of turn number 4. Looking pretty strong here in the early going.
Well, Matt Mutin, like I said, he's right up there for the points championship here at Mohawk International Raceway. He's found his groove, Tim, and he's starting to run away and hide from the number 2 car of Tim Reef.
As they work into turns 3 and 4, Reef back there in the number 2 spot, quite some distance behind Matt Mutin off of turn number 4. Brian Green holding down position number 3. Matthew Robinson is charged around the top side up into 4th. Now Dean Pronovost sees daylight on the top side as well. He looks to go to 5th as he goes through 1 and 2.
So now Green looking to make a move on the 30 machine of Tim Reef. He'll go to the bottom. He'll try to get by Tim Reef. Tim Reef going to stick it to the high side. Green on the inside. Green's got the position number 2 as they come around to complete lap number 6.
6 laps up on the scoreboard, and Matt Mutin making this thing look very easy. Now his teammate Brian Green has gotten by the 30 of Reef down the back straightaway, so move Green up into the number 2 spot. Could we possibly have our first ever 2-time winner in the Mod Lights, or will we keep the streak alive and have 3 different winners in 3 races?
So now Green, he's on the hunt. He's going to be looking to reel in the number 11 of Matt Mutin. Can he do it? He's got 6 laps in the books. We're looking to start, 7 laps will be in the book now as Mutin will come around to complete lap number 7.
And right now, Brian Green trying to hunt him down. Tim Reef is up into 3rd. Matthew Robinson making a lot of distance up on the top side as Dean Pronovost. Something may have gone away on that car as he is dropping back into the clutches now of Scott Meir and Dan Reef in the 03.
So the halfway mark now we're 2 laps past the halfway mark. 15 laps is the distance. Mutin well in control of tonight's feature. Green going to try to hunt him down as they go into turns 3 and 4. Does he have enough time? I don't know, Tim. Matt Mutin seems to be well in charge this evening.
And Dave Bell is taking the 46 pit side, and a tough break for Dave, as it looks like you could be correct on this one. Matt Mutin is absolutely gone from teammate Brian Green as they're going to work down the back straightaway, about a full straightaway distance back to that second place car of Brian Green as they head through turns 3 and 4. Then it's Tim Reef, the 24 of Aaron, and the 88 of Robinson completing your top 5.
Well, it's interesting being topless here tonight, the cars, not myself, as you can see them really working the steering wheel, Tim, as they go into the turns. And you got to wonder, I don't think Matt Mutin's really letting off the gas too much.
It gives you an idea of what these drivers are going through in that cockpit as they come up off of turn number 4. Matt Mutin still holding down the lead. 3 more laps to go this time. Brian Green trying to chase him down, but he may run out of laps. Unless we catch a late race caution, this could be Matt Mutin's race to lose here.
So Matt Mutin looking to take over the points lead, which I will have to double check. I think he may be able to do so tonight, Tim, with this victory. However, as we had a car slowing on the backstretch, that is the 11 machine of Green, so flag will come out here with 2 laps to go.
Well, flag will be set to come out this time by, and Matt Mutin looking to hold off a tough field here. We're back under Green. 2 more laps to go. As the field works down the back straightaway, the 24 has gotten around the 11 of Mutin, but here comes Matthew Robinson out of nowhere. Goes the long way around, grabs the top spot at the white flag. Could we have another great finish here?
That jockey got on his horse coming around turn 3. We've got cars tangled together in turns 1 and 2. That'll collect 3 or 4 cars, Tim. Now it'll be a 1-lap shootout for the victory.
And I believe we're going to go right to the checkers here. And Matthew Robinson is able to claim the win. So on behalf of Brian Page, I'm Tim Baltz. Glad you could join us here this evening. We hope to see you right back here at the racetrack next Friday night. Remember, 7:45 is the official start time. Well, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week. Good night, everybody.